Welcome to the video lecture for section 1.2. This is for Statistics 2023. My name is Jorge Gavillan. And so in this particular lecture, what we're going to be talking about is types of data. And so the major use of statistics is to collect and use sample data to make conclusions about populations. Now, again, we're going to be introducing some, well, not some, but quite a few terms at the beginning of the course. So the first thing is a parameter, and a parameter is simply a numerical measurement describing some characteristic of a population, whereas a statistic does the same thing, but it does it for a sample. Now, quantitative data, we're going to talk about quantitative data and qualitative data. Quantitative data or numerical data consists of numbers representing counts or measurements. So the first example would be the height of supermodels or the age of respondents. It can also be the number of siblings. So anything that we can quantify would be quantitative data. And then the next thing is categorical data. And this is qualitative data. And this consists of names or labels or categories. And so, for example, the sex, male or female of professional athletes, shirt numbers of professional athletes, are also qualitative data because finding the average of the jersey numbers doesn't make any sense. Now, when we work with quantitative data, we can further describe this between discrete and continuous type of data. Now, discrete data results when the data values are quantitative and the number of values is finite or countable. And so I like to think of discrete data as if you can count it, then it's discrete. If you measure it, then it's continuous. And the next one, of course, is continuous data, and this is results from infinitely many possible quantitative values where the collection of values is not countable. And so again, if you can count it, it's discrete, and if you can measure it, is continuous. The next thing we're going to talk about is levels of measurement. So another way to classify data is to use 4 levels of measurements: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Nominal level is data that consists of names, labels, or categories only. The data cannot be arranged in some order, so it doesn't make any sense to arrange it from low to high. And some examples would be survey responses of yes, no, or undecided, religious identification, political affiliation. Those are all categories. Marital status, those are categories will be nominal level. Ordinal level involves data that can be arranged in some order, but differences obtained by subtraction between data values either cannot be determined or meaningless. So ordinal would be something like course grades. The next thing is interval level of measurement. This involves data that can be arranged in order, and the difference between data values can be found and are meaningful. However, there is no natural zero, starting point at which none of the quantity is present. So an example of an interval level data would be years. And then the last one is ratio. And this is data can be arranged in order. Differences can be found and meaningful. And there's also a natural zero starting point. And so differences in ratios are both meaningful. So that's one of the key differences between ratio and interval is that we can make comparisons between data points. And so to summarize, nominal categories only, ordinal categories with some order, interval is differences but no natural zero point, and then ratio is differences and a natural zero point. So one of the last few things we'll talk about in this section is big data. And big data refers to sets so large and so complex that their analysis is beyond the capabilities of traditional software tools. Now, analysis of big data may require software that runs parallel on many different computers. The next thing is a new field, and it does use statistics, but also uses computer science and mathematics and software engineering, along with some field that is applied to, and that's data science. Now, many times when we collect data, we're missing data at random. So missing data can be completely random, and so that just basically means that it's missing, but it's not missing because someone made a mistake, if you will. And then the next thing is a data value is missing that's not at random, and that means that there's some reason of why it's missing. So how do we correct for missing data points? Delete the cases. One very common method for dealing with the missing data is just simply to delete all of the information for that particular case. Or the second one is to impute missing values. And by this we mean that we can actually find either the median or the mean or the mode for that particular variable, and then we can substitute the missing value with that particular value. They both have pros and cons, and so it really just depends. It's really up to the researcher to decide whether to delete the cases or input missing values. And that's the end of section 1.2. Thank you.